Hello, this is D-Man, and today I will be going over the Cerebro 2 deck, or C2 deck, and my iteration of it. So, the Cerebro deck, obviously, is focused around Cerebro. He gives all of your highest power cards plus 2 power with his ongoing effect. And basically, this deck is focused on this one card, and it is Cerebro 2 because each of the cards in this deck have 2 power, meaning that they will all be boosted by Cerebro, with the exceptions being Cerebro himself at 0 power, Mystique at 0 power, and Blue Marvel at 3 power. The interesting thing with Blue Marvel is, because he gives all of your other cards plus 1 power, he'll bring everything else up to 3, meaning Cerebro will then boost all of the 3s up to 5, which is why it works in this deck. So a quick rundown of the cards in this deck and why they're here. So we'll start with the core ones. Cerebro is here because it's a Cerebro deck, and then Mystique is here because she can copy Cerebro for an additional plus 2 power to each of the cards. She can also copy Blue Marvel, and theoretically Luke Cage, although you wouldn't want to do that. Okay, and then another interesting piece in this deck is Lockjaw. What is cool about him is, well, one, he's 2 power, so he fits in the deck, but also you can use him to cycle the on-reveal effects of the other cards in the deck so that you can activate them multiple times, which is nice. And the cool thing about Cerebro 2 in particular is there are a lot of very powerful on-reveal effects that you can use and abuse in the deck. So we have Iceman. He's just a very good disruptive card. Basically, every time Iceman's ever used on me, it almost always has like a pretty big impact on my plays going forward, so he's just really strong. And as mentioned, you can cycle him through Lockjaw to potentially gain his effect multiple times, which is amazing. You have NIGHTCRAWLER, who is just a very solid and versatile card. You can, if you get him out of Lockjaw, you can then move him out of the way to put more things into Lockjaw. And you can use them to get to hard-to-reach locations, which is nice. So we have the combo of Hazmat and Luke Cage, which is very fun. Hazmat gives all other cards -1 power, and Luke Cage prevents your card's power from being reduced, so you can basically reduce all of your opponent's cards' power with Hazmat, and because we're running Lockjaw, you can do that multiple times, which can be very, very strong. You have Mr. Sinister and Brood. Basically, they are effective ways to get many 2 power cards on the field using an efficient amount of energy, which is very nice, because otherwise, if you wanted to get a bunch of things on the board, you'd have to play a bunch of 1 costs, which would then make you very susceptible to Killmonger, so just very nice for spreading a lot of bodies on the board. Next we have Spider-Ham, who is just one of the best disruptive cards in the game. Like, he can potentially win games on his own. Like, if you're going against discard and you hit their Apocalypse, it's, like, just so difficult for them to play that out. So, yeah, and with Lockjaw you can activate this multiple times as well, which can potentially be ridiculous. Let's see, we have Magic, who is pretty cool in this deck. Its use is twofold. So one, you can use it to get rid of locations that are unfavorable to you, of which there are many. So yeah, you can reset locations like, I don't know, Nidavellir, who just like completely ruin this deck, and turn them into Limbo. And Limbo also helps you out because it gives you more opportunity to get the combo pieces that you need, such as Cerebro or Mystique, so she's just really good. And finally, you have Blue Marvel, who just buffs everything up alongside Cerebro and Mystique. In an ideal situation, you'll have Blue Marvel buff everything up by 1, up to 3, then you'll have Cerebro buff everything up from 3 to 5, and then Mystique will copy Cerebro, doing the +2 effect again, bringing all of your cards up to 7, so you could potentially have up to 2 lanes filled with 2-cost cards that are boosted up to 7, which would give you 28 power in 2 lanes, which is a pretty good amount of power. It's not as much as some other decks like Destroy can produce, but the thing about this deck is because you're disrupting your opponent with a bunch of cards like Spider-Ham, Hazmat, and Iceman, generally their power output is going to be a lot lower than it is under ideal circumstances. So this allows you to compete with a wide variety of decks. So that is the general overview of Cerebro 2. I guess I'll quickly go over some other options of things that I've considered putting in this deck and could definitely work in this deck. So we'll start with Yellow Jacket. With Lockjaw, this could potentially be very useful because you could cycle it through Lockjaw for 0 energy and get free stuff out of it. And because you're already running Luke Cage, the negative effect wouldn't affect you, but it's very risky because if you don't have the Luke Cage, or if its effect gets negated for whatever reason, it could just completely screw you over. So it's an interesting choice, but potentially risky. You have Korg, it's just another good disruption card, could easily go in the deck. Mbaku is an interesting choice with Lockjaw, because you can put it into Lockjaw, put it back into your deck, and at the end of the game it'll come back out of your deck, but I think this is more of like a meme choice than anything, because most of the time I'd rather just play in some other 2-power card that gives you a good effect, so yeah. Let's see. You have, I guess you could run Uatu, it's an okay effect. Goose is potentially really good in this deck, because it's just a lot more disruption to your opponent, preventing them from playing their high-cost things, of which you don't really have, other than Blue Marvel, so yeah, really solid choice. Scorpion, another just great disruptive effect. Let's see, anything else? Mr. Fantastic is also fine, because he's 2 power, and he gives power to all of your other lanes, so you just get more potential power in all of your lanes, which is nice. Rogue, pretty good tech choice if there's a lot of other ongoing stuff that's being used. Storm's also really good, because you can get rid of more location variability with it, and you can also combo it with Brood to fill up the stormed lane and make it really hard for your opponent to properly contest it. This is a card that honestly I'd really like to fit into the deck, but I find that you only really need 1 of magic in Storm. You don't really need that much location changing, and yeah, it's just, there's so many good 2-power cards that it's hard to find space in the deck, but I could definitely see this being a great choice for the deck. But yeah, that's about it in terms of the methodology behind the deck and how it works. Let's get into some gameplay. I'm going to play an indeterminate amount of games. I'll probably just play until I win one to show off the deck when it is working properly. So, let's do this. Let me make sure I actually select the proper deck. Okay, let's do this. So, there is a lot of potential variability in the matchups with Cerebro. There are very obvious good and bad games with this deck. So far, this is fine. Iceman is always a solid play. Quicksilver. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind when I see Quicksilver is like Agatha. We'll see what's going on here. I could play Hazmat, but I don't have Luke Cage yet, and I don't want to risk playing the Hazmat if I might not get Luke Cage, so we're just gonna Nightcrawler, and go from there. Domino, okay, this definitely screams Agatha to me, or potentially, okay, Negative Zone. So this is where magic comes into play. Negative Zone would normally really mess up Cerebro, but magic can change the location to something else that is hopefully better for us. So we magic. Okay, they just played Thor into Murder Worlds. This is either a bot or it's some weird Agatha build. But whatever, this gives me a nice chance to show off how this deck works. Okay, their Thor is dead. Their Mjolnir is now useless. Alrighty. Okay, we got 4 energy. I'm thinking, well, Luke Cage Hazmat, I kind of want to save it for them to play more stuff. So I could just Brood now. Or I could Mr. Sinister and Luke Cage. That actually seems like a decent play. Yeah. This is fine. We haven't seen Cerebro or Blue Marvel yet, which is kinda sad, but it's all good. Wave. This was, like, definitely Agatha, right? Right? I mean, either Lockjaw or Brood here is the play. At this point, I think we just Brood? It's gonna fill up a lot of our space, though. Oh well. YOLO. What's he got? Dr. Doom. This is, like, definitely a bot, right? They're snapping on this. Okay, I'm not gonna think about this too hard. Lockjaw into Hazmat. Sure. Yeah. Magneto. Okay, so I'm gonna do nothing. Lockjaw, Hazmat, cycle the Hazmat. What do we get? Spider-Ham. Gets rid of their Jubilees effect. Cool. And then we got, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Cerebro will bring everything up by 2, turning this 8 into a 16 lane. That still won't be enough to contest Hell's Kitchen, so we're gonna want to move the NIGHTCRAWLER over. See, this is the issue with playing the Brood. I filled up too much of my space. But hopefully we can just win these right 2 lanes with the Cerebro boost. Let's hope for the best. And I'm not snapping just because I want to show off this deck, but in this situation I probably still wouldn't snap anyway because I have no idea what's going on right now. Okay. Wait, what happened here? Oh! I'm dumb! I cycled the Cerebro through Lockjaw! I almost screwed that up really badly. Thankfully my opponent was probably a bot. But, yeah! Be careful of Lockjaw. You do not want to put things that you want to keep in the board, through Lockjaw. But we still managed to win because our opponent was just dumb. We'll do one more game just to show this off. Of course, my first game showcasing a deck, I make like a crazy misplay, but whatever. Okay, this guy is an Infinity Boar, so they probably are going to be somewhat better than the last opponent, at least. We'll see. NIGHTCRAWLER's fine. Mine's, oh, okay, they're playing some form of Thanos. This is gonna be fun. Okay, we do not want to move Nightcrawler to Kunlun, because that is going to screw up our Cerebro. So, just gotta keep that in mind. Alright, their Thanos is a pig, which honestly doesn't matter that much. Zabu. This is some interesting Thanos build. Got Hazmat, Luke Cage, we got the Cerebro. Honestly, I hope they... Do I want to give you a rock? By playing the Brood left? Does it really matter? Could also just put Brood mid. I don't know how much you care about. Like, the rock will kind of annoy me if I get it. So I'm just gonna fill up left. Okay, he gets a rock. He Iron Lads on 3 because of the Zabu. What does he get? Professor X. Of course it's fucking... Okay, you know, he snaps here. 2... At this point, he's guaranteed to win, right? Well, unless I, like, Hazmat and, like, Mystique, Cerebro Mystique, but, like, this is gonna be pretty difficult to win, so I think we just retreat here. Once again, knowing when to retreat is very important. I wanna show off at least one more good game for this deck. So we go again. I don't want to make the video too long either, though. Alright. Also, another nice thing about... Okay, Danger Room, whatever. Another nice thing about Cerebro 2 in particular is it has another Thanos player. It has very consistent opening hands, I feel like. Okay. Superflow. Danger Room. I'm really debating whether or not I want to get rid of the Danger Room or the Superflow. I feel like the Superflow probably benefits him more as Thanos because he just gets so many draws, but like... At the same time, Danger Room is just inherently annoying. Oh, he Reality Stones it. Okay. And then Time Stones on 2. Oh, he is about to, like, Prof X or something. Interesting. Well, there's only 2 potential places he can actually Prof X right now, if he were to do that. If I had to guess, it's going to be left. And in response, I'm just going to try to get more bodies on the board there. It could also very easily just be middle. But, like, if it's middle, it is what it is. Yep, there's the Prof X. Oh, no null for you. Cool. Lockjaw. Mr. Sinister? Nah, Lockjaw is risky here. Because then next turn... Maybe Mr. Sinister? Cerebro, so I can Mystique next turn? He's snapping, but he doesn't realize I can get over his power left. It's just, this is important. It is a very awkward sequencing move. Oh, I could also just blue marble right now. Yeah, that's the play. Okay, now what? Do not fill up your super flow so that you can't play. Yeah, this is awkward still. We want to Cerebro Mystique, like 100%. So I think this is the play. Interesting. This is still fine for us. I think we're just gonna skip. Yeah. We want to save our stuff for next turn. Luckily, we don't have old Spider-Man anymore, so there's Thanos. Okay. Mystique. Luke Cage Hazmat? That seems very powerful. I think we win this. Mystique copies Cerebro, gives everything a bunch more power. Luke Cage, Hazmat, Power Stone, Galactus. Oh boy, that would have been very sad to lose to that, but okay, that was a very good Cerebro game. I think that showcases the deck very nicely. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my explanation of the deck and watching it in action. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave it in the comments. Let me know how this video was, and maybe I'll make some more in the future. Yeah. Have fun playing Marvel Snap. Talk to you later. Bye.